Hey, it's me. I'd like to talk about a pattern that I think many of us share. It often starts in childhood and then stays hidden in our emotions and thoughts. Some parts of this pattern may be clear to you, but a lot of it lies below the surface. So, my hope is to help you notice every part of this pattern, what we often call a vicious cycle or a vicious circle. When you were small, you depended on others for nearly everything. You needed love, care, and attention. As an adult, you can learn to give and receive love in a mature way. But if some of your childish reactions stay hidden, a piece of you remains stuck in that early stage of development. And that's where this vicious cycle begins. You want love so much that you want it all for yourself. You might feel left out or rejected if someone you love cares about anyone else too. Because this kind of exclusive love can never be fully satisfied, you feel frustrated. Then you become resentful and hostile, even toward the people you love the most. This creates a conflict deep in your soul. On one hand, you love someone. On the other, you feel anger towards them. Early on, we're taught that hating people we love is quote unquote bad. So we push these feelings down into our subconscious. Guilt then settles in, and that guilt sparks a fear of punishment. Though you might not realize it, this fear influences many parts of your life. If you feel guilty about your hidden anger, a part of you decides you don't deserve to be happy. You might unconsciously avoid joy, thinking it'll lessen the punishment you're sure is coming. And this creates another conflict. You yearn for happiness, yet you also believe it's safer to avoid it. You may try to explain away your struggles as bad luck or fate, but often it's the hidden fear of happiness at work. To dodge the fear of outside punishment from God, people, or just life in general, another part of you thinks, maybe I should punish myself instead. And this often shows up as health issues, failed relationships, or missed opportunities. Any old image or false belief from childhood about love, work, or anything else joins forces with this self-punishment urge. In practical terms, if you think you deserve harm or failure, you can end up creating it in your own life. Your real conscience, the wise divine core inside you, wants you to grow step by step. Yet, what we can call a second conscience might form inside, demanding you become perfect right now to make up for hating those you loved. The second conscience wants to avoid punishment by setting impossible standards. Every time you fail to meet these standards, you feel worse about yourself. You tell yourself, if I can't even be good with everyday people, how can I possibly be good with those I've hated? And this thinking feeds low self-esteem and a sense of isolation. Because your second conscience sets unrealistic goals, you almost always feel inferior or not enough. You might believe that if you could get enough love, praise, or respect from others, it would prove you're not bad. In truth, this hunger for constant admiration comes from an old, unhealed place. No amount of praise will fix it, because the real problem is hidden underneath. The childish part of you still wants love only for itself. A big key to breaking this vicious cycle is learning to love in a mature way. And that means taking risks, giving love without clinging to the idea that others must give back the same amount right away. It also means facing the fact that your old belief, if someone I love cares for anyone else, I'm losing out, is not true. When you keep that belief locked in your subconscious, it distorts your adult relationships. So there's 5 simple steps you can take to break this vicious cycle. The first step is to spot the pattern. Okay, so first you need to notice the conflicts in your life and see if they follow this chain reaction that I just described. Craving exclusive love, feeling angry or guilty, fearing punishment, avoiding happiness, and punishing yourself. The second step is to then feel the emotions. Recognize the childlike parts of you that still want all the love. Let yourself feel the frustration, anger, or shame from childhood. Bring those feelings into your conscious mind. Step 3 is to then question the logic. Ask yourself, why do I think if my loved one cares for others, there's less love for me? Or why do I believe I don't deserve happiness? By questioning these beliefs, you see that they come from an old, childish logic that no longer serves you. Step 4 is to accept slow change. Old feelings don't vanish the moment you see they're irrational. They're tied to long-standing habits. So give yourself time to adjust. Keep reminding yourself when you slip back into old reactions. And step 5 is to learn real love. Mature love isn't about demanding more love than you give. You may not see instant results, but over time, real love does flow back to you. Stop believing your worth depends on meeting impossible standards. Deep within you is a wise, genuine conscience that isn't driven by guilt or fear. It cares about what truly helps you and others. Sometimes it asks you to do something you don't feel like doing. Other times it tells you to accept the joy you crave. You won't find rules set in stone. You need openness, honesty, your intuition to hear that inner voice. You're free to change once you admit these hidden ideas and emotions exist. You can then see that the pattern began when you were a helpless child who did not know better. By bringing all this into your conscious awareness, you start to break the vicious cycle. You learn to accept yourself and others without fear or guilt. And through this process, the real voice inside you grows stronger. It guides you towards choices that bring you closer to love and balance. The problems that once felt like punishment become a way for you to notice where you can change. You no longer try to bargain with your guilt or hide from your anger. Instead, you face everything openly and step by step learn to live with more peace and love in your heart. Love you. Connect soon.